Welcome to Phil Gordon's podcast from the 2005 World Series of Poker, brought to you by ExpertInsight.com. Phil is co-host of Bravo's Celebrity Poker Showdown, a two-time World Poker Tour champion and noted author. For more insight into the mind of a true poker champion, visit www.expertinsight.com.
All right, we're minutes away from the $1,000 buy-in, no limit Hold'em Texas Rebuy event. This is the event last year Daniel Negreanu rebought 27 times. He actually ended up fourth in this event last year for $101,000, but he had $28,000 invested and had to come in seventh to break even. Once again, we're expecting a capacity crowd here at the Rio in Las Vegas. Very exciting. Only $1,000, but you got to be prepared to rebuy just a few times in this event. If you go broke, you're pretty much making a mistake if you don't rebuy. So blinds 25-25. I expect a lot of toward action here in the opening. Should be very exciting. We're about to get out to the table. I'm going to try to find a couple of professional poker players to give us a little bit of an interview and some of their pre-tournament strategy thoughts. Here we go. So here with David Gray. David, you play a full tilt poker. Today you're playing in the $1,000 buy-in, no limit event?
Correct.
And do you change your strategy at all for rebuy events?
I don't really. Certainly not after the rebuy period, as no one can. But at the beginning, I'm possibly with 20 or 30 minutes left in the rebuys, I might change my strategy a little bit. If everyone around me has a lot of chips and I have few, I might play a little bit more aggressively, because if I lose it, I'll buy more. But aside from that, I'm going to play basically the same, except for maybe the last 20 minutes before the rebuy period. Okay, but if you get 50-50 early on, you're only starting with $1,000 in chips at 25-25. If you get a 50-50, you might be more willing to take it early on rather than, in a big tournament with a $10,000 entry fee, you're certainly not going to want to take a 50-50 in the first couple of levels. But no. Here you might be willing to, eh? Yeah, without a doubt, you'd have to gamble. And in all the tournaments here, it's a very fast structure early, and then it slows down. If you can build up a little chips at the very beginning, then they don't move it up that fast, and you have a chance to play a little, whether it's the limit or the no limit. So here with 1,000 or the ones with 1,500 in chips, I mean, if you get committed, you put 200 or 300 in there already, and now you have 700, 800 left. I mean, it's like your whole life is on the line every hand at the beginning. So
right,
crucial at the beginning, more wiggle room in the middle.
You're one of the biggest and most accomplished cash game players in the world. I get this question all the time. I never know how to answer it. How do you change your tournament game to your cash game when you're talking no limit hold'em?
Well, there's not much no limit hold'em in cash games. First of all, unfortunately, we play mostly mixed limit games, and sometimes we play no limit, but with a cap, so it's a little bit different. So
yeah, that cap's 100,000, by the way.
100,000 cap, but it makes for a very unusual hand, and a lot of times all the money goes in before the flop, and it's just sort of a race, as opposed to being able to really blow somebody off a hand or get value. It's hard to play with like 6-5 of clubs in the 100 cap game, because you're forced to put too much of your money in before you have anything. You have 6 high, so. In a regular no limit game, you can get a little value out of some mediocre hands if you play them well, and you get lucky.
There's not a lot of people out there that can identify with playing in a $100,000 cap no limit game. But how have you found the level of play to be in the tournaments that you've played so far?
Well, there's some people that can play pretty well that I never saw before in my life. And then there's some people that are sort of a little bit lost out there. It's a big smattering, because there's a lot of inexperienced players.
Out of 10 players at the table, break them down. How many do you think are fantastic players out of 10?
Usually 0.
0, okay. Not yourself not included. How many think are good?
It just depends on the table. You might get
on average.
On average, there's probably about 2 out of every 10 players that are pretty good, experienced players, and 2 out of 10 that are decent players, and then
6 not so good.
6 either satellite winners or guys just in town taking a shot, or people that never play more than 5 and 10.
What David's trying to say is that there's a lot of easy money out there. Have you cashed in any of the events so far?
Of course not.
So it's not that easy. All right, thanks, David. Get out to the table. Thanks. All right, 2 hours into the tournament, the rebuy period is officially over. I had to rebuy twice during that set. I'm stuck into this tournament $3,000, but I do have almost 6,000 in chips now. Biggest hand of the day, I had about 3,000, and I had pocket deuces in the small blind, and the flop king, queen, deuce. There was about 800 in the pot. I bet 600. The man moved in on me with ace king. Exactly what you want to have happen in that situation. I called in the shot, of course, and managed to double up to 6,000. there were a lot of rebuys. The rebuys were just almost crazy during that time period. And probably, I would guess the average person in this tournament is in for about $2,500 to $3,000. Sold out field once again. Huge field. Yeah, I like my table right now too. I've got a lot of easy money at the table. So we're on a 10-minute break. I'm off to recruit more players for the first annual World Series of Rock, Scissors, Paper, which will be filmed on Saturday. So far, I've got an all-star field. We've got Mike Mattisau, Paul Wolf, David Olliott, Annie Duke, Richard Brody, Jesse May, Howard Lederer, David Wells, Antonio Spandiari, Bob Ralbos, Carlos Mortensen. It's going to be a field of 64 players, $200 buy-in, winner take all. $2,800 of the entry fees will be donated to charity, the Cancer Research and Prevention Foundation. $10,000. It will be televised on ESPN. They're very excited about it. All right, off to find some more entrants for the Rock, Scissors, Paper. All right, Daniel Negreanu, you rebought 27 times. Yeah, you rebought 27 times in this event last year. What are you up to today?
We got a half price discount, 12 rebuys, total of $13,000.
And what is there a method to the madness, or are you just a crazy mofo?
It's almost like we've got team table 26. Everyone at my table, for the majority, has a good stack. So hopefully one of us will get there. We're all rooting for each other, Steve. But the idea
I'm sure
is
you're all rooting for each other.
The idea is for me to throw them out there like a fishing rod, and then hopefully get them back right now and end up with a big stack.
And how many chips do you have?
I have 7625 plus the double will be 9600. So I got almost 10,000, which is way above average.
Well, you're only stuck a couple thousand, right?
Yeah, exactly. I did pretty good. All right,
perfect. The most important question, though, are you in for the Rock, Scissors, Paper World Championship, World Series of Rock, Scissors, Paper on Saturday morning? It's a $200 buy-in, $10,000 for first place, $2,800 going to charity, 10:30. It's going to be televised on ESPN. Everyone wants you in. Are you in?
I'll tell you what, I'm like the Canadian champion for 18 years running. And if I knew that I was even allowed, I figured I was barred from it.
No, everyone wants you in. Everyone wants you in.
Then I'll play.
All right, I need $200 to lock your seat up.
Wait, when is it, Sunday?
Saturday morning, 10:30 right here.
I can't, unfortunately.
Oh, no, Daniel Negreanu out.
I'm sorry, I have to be at Lynn at 10 o'clock that morning.
Oh, God.
Sorry, dude. But
brutal.
I'd like to play.
All right, how about it, Jennifer? Are you in?
What's the tournament on Saturday?
It's limit hold'em, 2,000 limit on Saturday. Jennifer Harmon.
The next one. We'll see. I'll let you know.
All right, seats are going quick. I only got a few left.
All right.
All right, congrats, Dan. All right, we're in of the third level, heading into the fourth level. I've got 8,500 in chips. The only interesting hand that came up during that round was pocket queens on the button. Everyone folded to me. I raised it to 300. The blinds were 50 and 100. Player in the big blind called. Flop was 9-8-7 with two clubs. I've got two red queens. It's a very, very dangerous flop. And he bet 300. I smooth called. Can't really make a move there. I can't raise there because I can't afford to have him come over the top of me. Jack came on the turn. He bet again at 500, which looked like a weak bet. I made it 1,200, hoping to either find out where I was or get him to lay his hand down, representing a straight. He just called. I put him on the flush draw. River came to 4. He checked. I checked, and I took down the pot. That was the best hand of the. That was the best hand of that level. Really like my table and got a lot of chips. Should be good. All right, finally made it to a dinner break. I have good news to report. At the dinner break, I've got about 20,000 in chips. Blinds are going up to 200, 400 with a $50 ante on the next level. I've been coasting at around 10,000 for most of that entire last round, and raised under the gun with Ace King, and real kind of a loose player moved in on me for just almost had me covered. He had like 9,800, I had 10,000. And I thought for a very long time and decided to call. Still not exactly sure it was the right call because there's a lot of easy money at the table. But I called and he had pocket nines and I flopped a king. So back up to 20,000, you got to win races in order to survive. That was the first race I've won in a couple weeks, it seems. But I should be in very good shape here at the dinner break. There are only a couple hundred people left in the tournament. Gonna get some food with my buddy Rafe, try to recruit some more people for the Rock, Scissors, Paper thing on Saturday, and give you a report as soon as there's something to report. All right, good news. With 19 seconds to go on the level, I'm up to 35,000. I just almost doubled up at 17,000 against Scotty Wynn by making a huge call on the river with Ace Queen. Or was Ace King Jack 8-6. He bet on the flop. He bet raised before the flop. I re-raised and he called out of the small blind. Put him on suited connectors. The flop come ace jack blank. He bet I called. Turn was a 6. He checked and I checked, and then the river was a king, and he bet out just about enough to put me all in, and I called him with ace queen. Very tough call, but I put him on the busted flush draw, and I was right. And I've got 35,000, looking good. And miraculously, I'm still in. Blinds are going up next level to 400, 800 with a $100 ante. 120 players remaining at 12 tables. Scotty Wynn is on my right on Super Mega Tilt. Most of the other money at the table is not so difficult. I got Hoyt Corkins on my left. He's playing pretty tight, but he's on a short stack. Average right now is just a little under 20,000, so I'm looking pretty good. Yeah, I still can't pick up a hand. I still haven't had aces or kings the entire day. Just totally card dead, but picking a few spots here and there and re-raising my way to above average stack. Some good players still left in the field, obviously. Daniel's still in with a lot of chips. Annie Duke has 36,000. Like I said, 120 players left, so it's going to be a tough battle from here. They're paying 60 places, so approximately half the field needs to get eliminated from here to make the money. All right, we're on the bubble. There are 73 players left. I've got only 14,000 in chips. Things did not go well for me that last level. I lost a big race against Marco Treniello, ace queen versus 2 10s. That would have been that was a $35,000 pot. Huge race to lose. Right now it looks like all the tables are waiting on Daniel. Daniel's in a big pot and he's thinking about going bust on the bubble. Never a good thing to do, but it can happen. Happens to the best of them. Let's see what happens here. Daniel's got about 17,000 left, and he's putting on his backpack. It looks like he's going to call off the 17,000. Looks like he might. Well, he hasn't decided. I think he's playing to the camera a little bit too. He might lay it down. Show the crowd, Daniel. The board's Jack 10, 8, 3 deuce. No flush possible. And it's a straight against, and we're in the money. Daniel busted out on the bubble in 73rd spot. Daniel must have called him with a jack, or a very good jack. Straight took down the pot. We're in the money. And that's very unfortunate. Daniel was in this tournament for about 12,000 too. So anyway, strategy might change a little bit now. Time to gamble up. Well, we're on break again. There are 65 players remaining at 7 tables. I have 17,500. It is time to pick up a hand for sure. The blinds are going up to 8 and 1,600 with a $200 ante. Still doing okay. I mean, I do have 10 big blinds, and I'm only about 1 double up away from being average. My strategy when I get to this point is to play fairly tight. I want to use all my chips to maximum advantage. I'm not afraid to shove them in on a coin flip, but I really want to put maximum pressure on my opponents. I'm looking for ace-king. I'm looking for pocket pairs. I'm looking for late position where everyone folding to me with a big ace. I'm looking for a reason to get all my chips in and hopefully be 50-50 or better. Daniel Negreanu busting out of the bubble, very, very strange play. But the real thing I want to say here is that there is tremendous amount of room in the world of professional poker. I want to describe a hand that was played at my table between a World Series of Poker bracelet winner who won almost $1 million last year in a $3,000 buy-in no limit hold'em event, and a multi-time World Poker Tour champion. It was on my left. Very, very well-known player. So with the blinds at 6 and 1,200, the player under the gun, the very well-known $3,000 no limit hold'em winner, moves all in for $13,000. Everyone folds around to the small blind, who considers it for quite a while. Now, this player only has about 25,000, and this bet represents half his stack. And he calls with ace-jack. Now, the player with a bracelet that moved all in says, "What do you have, aces?" Now, it took the guy forever to call. He can't possibly have aces. calling with ace-jack there may be just one of the worst plays possible. But even worse than that is the guy that moved all in before the flop for 12,000 with 2 kings. He turned over 2 kings. Now these guys are bracelet winners. They've won, both of them have won over $1 million playing Texas Hold'em. And yet it's just rookie mistakes. It's craziness. Just not at all play that you would expect from people very well respected in the game. So take heart if you're a new player and you're trying to learn the game. You too can be a World Poker Tour champion, because I tell you, if these guys can win, anyone can. All right, we are breaking for the day. There are 34 players left. I've got 35,800. I am a short stack, but not tremendously short. Believe the average is somewhere around 60, 62 maybe. So I'm doing okay. Traded 3% with Andy Duke, who's still in the field and has almost exactly the same number of chips as I do. I got to tell you, these 9 people that I'm playing with are maybe some of the worst poker players I've ever sat at a table with. They are, I'm not the kind of guy that likes to talk badly about people's skills, but these guys are like under the gun and raising all in 75,000 into a $6,000 pot. I mean, it's not poker that, I don't know what game they're really playing, but they're not playing no limit hold'em, that's for sure. If I ever pick up a hand against these guys, it could be lights out. I mean, all you got to do is pick up one hand. There's someone moving in for 20, 30,000 before the flop on every single hand at this table. Anyway, it is 3 o'clock in the morning. I am going home and going to bed, and I'll return to try to battle it out with these guys tomorrow. Cheers. Thanks for downloading my World Series of Poker podcast. Tune in every day for more insight and fun from the Rio in Las Vegas. This is Phil Gordon. For more information, visit my website, www.expertinsight.com.